Let's get crack-a-lacking, baby. What episode are we on today, Anthony?
57.
57. So we're doing back to basics, guys, and we're going to talk about marketing. So get ready for some good nuggets, some good takeaways, and let's get down to business.
Let's get down to business. What's going on, guys? Anthony Angelillo, branch manager over here with the Tag Team, powered by Paramount Residential Mortgage Group, CEO, founder of Tag Team Nation Marketing Company, co-host of podcast award-winning Damage Control. I love saying that. It's been a while, man. And those of you that don't know what I do lending and I do marketing. And this is how we have scaled our show. And we're doing very well. Top originator of the year. Hopefully 2021, we're also going to be in that game. Just one top originator in a magazine. It's usually published after the year. So that was for last year, but just got into Mortgage Magazine. PRMG announced it. So that was awesome. Just won that award. So we're rocking it, man. We're moving here and things are good, man. Things are good. Can't complain.
So fancy with all your awards.
Yeah, man, it's good. Well, I go into your office, it's like all lined and perfect.
I have a collection. No, I'm just kidding. Well, actually, a little bit. I try. We do what we can to do good for the community and for the industry. My name is Melinda Grimaldi, real estate and title attorney for Grimaldi Law Firm and the Closers Title Insurance Company. And so excited for today's topic because sometimes we just get wrapped up in the next best thing. What's shiny and sparkly and what's the new thing, and we get caught up in that sometimes too, and seeing something new, a new app, a new this, a new that. But at the end of the day, there are some basic fundamentals that we just need to make sure we implement in our business to stay consistent, to keep leads coming in, and to make money and help more people, right? Basically.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. It's funny because we talked about CRMs yesterday on the board. And it's like surreal how long it's taken us and myself to build out my CRM. And it's difficult, but at the end of the day, it's being consistent, right? And taking baby steps and just decompressing every day and just saying, all right, this is the task for today. And then, year goes by and you're like, wow, I covered a lot of ground, but it's mentally, it can be mentally challenging because it's a big project. So,
so that's the same thing. That's a big project, and marketing too, in and of itself, it's a division of your company. Even if you're just one agent with nobody else helping you, you are a company. You should have your PA, of course, but as practically speaking, you have a company, and that company has a sales department, a marketing department, a systems and fun, team training, breaking out of the systems and the tools and all these different departments that a big company has, that has probably heads of those departments, right? Yep. But you are wearing all the hats, or most of the hats, until you start to outsource or grow your team, if you're going to grow a team. So what are you going to do to make sure your marketing is on point? The first and foremost, whatever you decide to do, whatever works for you, because not all agents are equal in terms of what works for them and their niche and their community and their spheres, right? But what is important for everybody is consistency. Period.
In everything, not just marketing.
But let's talk about marketing consistency. So what happens most of the time? I see this all the time. I see it in my own business. It's happened to me before. I try to avoid this as much as possible. But what happens?
The roller coaster, man.
The roller coaster. The roller coaster. So if you're not familiar with the entrepreneurial roller coaster, it's basically like, let's market, sell, market, sell, market, sell. Oh, I'm super busy with all my clients right now. I don't have to market, sell time. I don't have no time to market, sell. I'm just working. Oh shit. I have nothing in the pipeline. Let me market, sell, market, sell, market, sell, market, sell. Oh, I'm really busy now. So that I really don't like. You shouldn't like either. It feels very unstable when you're on that roller coaster. You feel insecure about your income. And I think that then throws you off with everything else.
Yeah. You start spiraling. You're just mentally, it's a mind, you know what? And it's something that you don't want. It's the same with prospecting, with leads and anything you do, but consistency in marketing is it's gonna kill you, man. It's gonna kill you slowly.
So we are in a very transitional period right now for my companies because we are hiring new team and we're readjusting a few things. So whenever that happens, it keeps me in the trenches more. And so what that means is it keeps me in the files versus trying to help promote my business and market our services, right? So whenever that happens, I always end up seeing it reflect in our numbers. So I'm experiencing that right now. We do our best because now I have a team that helps me to continue the marketing train, even when I'm in the trenches, but there's nothing that can replace my face in front of the camera at the events, speaking on social media. There's nothing that can replace that. So you need to find a way to carve out time to consistently show up.
So let me ask you, today you're doing photos. All right. And obviously your consistency on that is going to be obviously what, every 3 months you're going to start hitting up photos so that you have content for the next, what, 6 months?
So I'm going to likely be doing one way or another, one shoot a month, a small shoot. Just whether it may not always be a stage type of shoot, it might be at an event. I might take someone along with me just to have some different, so the layout's different, But I realized I just got to put it in the books. Yesterday was a little bit of a crazy day. Kathy on my team was like, maybe you should reschedule your pictures. I'm like, nope, I got to get my pictures in because I'm running out of things to post. And of course we do a lot of things on the fly, but a lot of the promo materials for events, my marketing team was like, I need more pictures. Like, we're reusing and reusing and great pictures of me.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
you're the brand. Everyone hear that. You are the brand.
So I need more pictures. So since we're on the topic of pictures, and I use them in multiple different ways, and so should you, but you guys need to remember there's consistency in creating content. So you need that content, you need fresh content. You can't be posting the same things all the time. Now you don't have to hire a photographer for it, although I will say there's a lot of very affordable photographers out there. And if you're not doing it by yourself to begin with, scheduling a photographer once a month, once a quarter, to just get a few in so that you have some material for when you can't get it done on your own. If you can't get it done, if you're not already, some people are very good at taking pictures themselves.
Yeah. Bastards.
Whether they're at events, whether you're, and if that's you, perfect. Keep it up, save it. You don't have to post them all at once. You could repurpose them. If you're not sure if that's you, be mindful when you're out taking pictures. I personally, even though I'm always stuck to my phone, I try to be in the moment, and everyone else is taking pictures. So I don't want to be that person, take one with mine too. And then I kind of forget. So having someone just come there and be designated to take pictures for my content, for me, is helpful to get it done.
So having someone be there to take the pictures on your behalf, basically.
Whether it's at an event, I'm going to have this photographer either come with me to an event or come to like today, he's coming to my office. I'm just going to, because we did a few things in the office, the new closing room. So I'm just going to get some new fresh shots here. This time, maybe I'll do some at a different location another time. Maybe I'll do it at an event, right? Depending on what's already, I'm going to try to let it line up with what I'm already doing.
Yeah.
Right.
Of course.
So that's that.
It's part of your schedule.
It's part of my schedule once a month. Today I will book, after we're done, I'm going to book the next one. And that's how you get it in.
So right there, folks, is consistency. She said one thing that I wrote down, one shot a month. So that shot's probably going to have 300 takes in that one shot for an hour.
I'll probably get 8 to 10 good shots from there that I'm going to be able to use. And now before I start my shoot, I'm going to write down some ideas that I have of what I'd like to have. I'm going to take the photographer's input. And then I'm also going to say, what can I talk about? And then how can I take a picture that will reflect that?
That's right? Marketing 101.
Oof. So I talk about planning my day. I talk about structure a lot. I talk about that naturally, right? What I do, my day-to-day routine. So I'm going to make a list of the things that I do well and try to capture that in a photo so that I can share in a different way how you know, what I do, right? So as a realtor, for example, you don't always have to be, yes, you want content when you go to an inspection, when you go to your listing an open house. Like those are all opportunities where you could say, hey, photographer, can you just pop over for half an hour and snap a couple shots of me for my content, right? Not for the property itself, or build a relationship with your real estate photographer that maybe they could snap some of you when they're doing the property. So those are ways that you could like overlap and get a few things done at once. But it's not just about the real estate, right? It's about you.
Yeah.
So what do you do that's good? What do you do that you enjoy? That's going to showcase you. Because at the end of the day, we're going to it ties into your branding. It ties into building something you have in common with your followers or with your clients that will give an opportunity for someone to reach out. So we joke about this all the time, Anthony and I. We always showcase our food. Why? Because we love to eat. Sometimes too much that we don't even put it on social media. We text it to each other just because, like, okay, I can't post other food
There's
pictures.
too much, too many stages on cooking something.
But why? You it's unbelievable. I know, Anthony, you have the same way. The amount of interaction we have with our followers on social media about food, people that won't interact with anything else, but with the food pictures, they'll interact. So there's a reason for showcasing your personality if we're talking about social media and your personal brand. Right?
So it's got to be relatable. All right. The reason why they're engaging is because everybody, I don't know anyone that dislikes food. Some people.
Not everyone's as obsessed.
Without a doubt. As I have a nice clementine here and I'm just looking at it. Can't wait. But it's just, you know, it's what you guys like, you know, what's relatable to your audience. And that's really what we're trying to go over. I mean, the consistency aspect is key though. I mean, the stuff I post is more inspiring and it tries to motivate my audience, but I've noticed that ratings have gone down. So that's what we would go into monitoring. And so, you know, now it's time to pivot more fresh, maybe of me or of,
you can still be motivational, but you need to show your face.
Yes. Yes.
You could still put those same quotes. Like, you know what you should do? You should have the photographer come and like take some pictures before you run.
Oh, yeah, I thought of that. It's crazy you're saying that. Yesterday I was running. I'm like, yeah, the photographer should literally be with me right now. It's like, good. It's good stuff. It's fun.
Yeah. So you could do maybe some pictures before, and then when you start your run, and then he could drive with the car, take a few action shots, whatever. And it's a great opportunity to showcase what you do. And you could talk about how running helps your mindset, how running helps everything, you know, where there's so many ways why you like it. You push for you. I think running, and a lot of people, I started to run a little bit, like when I say a little bit, once last week. I realized as I was running, I'm like, oh my God, like, okay, I'm going to do this. I'm going to feel good. I'm going to run and I'm going to do really well. And then I was like, and now I know why people are running.
Why?
Because I think a few things. Like I could do this. I'm going to keep going. I said I was going to finish this. I'm going to finish it. Mm-hmm. And there's like a few, like it's more of a mind challenge than a physical. If you can get past that, like, I hate to run, like idea.
I did not. In high school, I couldn't stand cross country and running and any of the practices. I couldn't stand it. I was like, oh my God, this is torture. I never liked running, but yeah, it's mindset. But
we digress.
Yes, it's mindset.
we are digressed. But the point is to give you examples of our personal lives, of what how we can get content from what we're already doing. Last Saturday, I took a family shoot with my whole family, with the kids. I'm going to be sharing some of that content, even though it was done for personal reasons, but it's a great opportunity to showcase who you are. So showcase who you are by what you do already, what you love. And of course, tie and showcase it during your workday, during your, you know, whatever you're already doing, and not so exact, like posy or picture of a house, but like action.
And not just about clear to closes and approvals and this listing and that listing. I think more of my posts, honestly, I guarantee you more of my posts. The one I just posted with my friend and I got so many likes. And that was us in running gear, all sweaty and just, literally after a run. It's relatable. You know what I mean? And so people like that. They want to see raw content. They want to see you.
Yes, exactly. So being authentic, of course, and consistent are very important points. And then monitoring what you're doing. So the most important thing to monitor, there's a few ways things you have to monitor. If you're spending money on any type of marketing, you better be making sure that is being put to good use. I made those mistakes before, so that's why I always harp on this. Don't just think throwing money at marketing dollars is going to work, because it usually doesn't in that way that you think it's going to work. Spending money on someone doing a newsletter once a month for you is a long game approach. It's not a short-term solution to market and get leads for your business. So why I say that, it's important to have a marketing campaign that includes newsletters, but it's actually the first thing that you should be working on, because a general newsletter to just check in with your people that are on your mailing list and in your sphere is really not a short-term game. It's a long game, and we need long games, but you need short game first. Does that make sense?
100%. Without a doubt. I mean, we talked about this a little bit yesterday. I'll elaborate a little bit more right now. Monitoring emails and drip campaigns, that's everything. And then your subscription base, who are you sending this content to? If you're blast emailing people your marketing material that is irrelevant to what they really want to focus on, they're going to unsubscribe. And you really need to look at marketing as a whole. And what I mean by that is, if somebody wants run-in material and they want to know about Noon, what does Noon do? That's for runners. It's like literally Pedialyte or Gatorade on steroids. Then you're marketing that. Okay. But I'm only going to market that to runners. I'm not going to send that to people that don't want to run. I'm going to be unsubscribed. So it's key to see the monitoring and the progression of your content being posted. That's all it is. That's why I love marketing so much, is the data.
Yeah. So, if you are doing email campaigns, monitor what's being done, how many opens, which subject lines work, et cetera, et cetera. You have to monitor those things, of course. Monitor if you're hiring someone to do stuff for you. You need to be monitoring your spend, if you're getting a return on your investment. Even monitoring, if you're like talking about social media posting, taking the time to look to see which types of posts, what types of stories actually get engagement, actually gain attention, and assessing that, right? So I always joke, food, kids, and puppies are always like a great way to get engagement, right? People always can relate to one of those things, but and it's true. I used to hide the fact that I was pregnant because I thought people didn't want to send me business if I was very pregnant.
Really?
But the funny thing is that actually, when I open my doors about showcasing myself as a mom, and I don't do it that much, I trickle it in. It's actually allowed me to relate to people more, the other moms out there, and it's actually a pretty cool thing. So I use it to my advantage rather than think of it as a clutch, which before I was a mom or when I was pregnant, I used to be like, I can't show it. I have to like really hide it.
So you think obviously insecurity issues with individuals marketing or taking photographs that they don't want to post, that's mindset too, man. That's something that if you don't think you should post it, that's probably why you should post it. That's my philosophy. I think the data needs to be raw. Like the content needs to be you. Don't change yourself just because you think you're going to be criticized by others.
Yeah.
So
I definitely think authenticity goes, everyone says that, and it's hard to do it sometimes. You're afraid to be judged. You're afraid, so that's all ties back into my every topic we talk about on this show. In the end, we always say, well, that goes back to mindset. So mindset really is crucial. And another really important tool right now in marketing is videos. And that's a huge mindset trigger for a lot of people. They don't like the way they sound. They don't like the way they look. They don't like the way, whatever. There's like so many layers to that, right? But you just got to push yourself to be in front of the camera. I know it really is uncomfortable for a lot of you, but taking that discomfort and getting used to it, I'm telling you, get used to the discomfort of it.
And you'll start scaling.
Eventually, it'll be like easy peasy lemon squeezy, as my son says.
How many videos did you do on your first take? Like what was your first take on videos? 18, 20? Like how many times did it? You're
okay. So Mike's okay. I have a different.
I'm curious.
I don't really do a lot of takes because I really feel like the first, unless I stumble on my words, I won't usually retake it. But I'll tell you why. I'm going to scroll back. My experience of feeling uncomfortable, like getting comfortable, feeling uncomfortable came from public speaking. So I would, from the very beginning, unintentionally put myself in positions to feel uncomfortable. At first I'm like, why do I do this to myself? But I'm so glad that, this goes back to law school, really. Actually, even in undergrad, when I used to do all these different types of public speaking organizations, Model United Nations, I was on the trial team. In law school, so a little bit about law school is the professors will call on you randomly, but sometimes they will give you the opportunity to raise your hand. And so I always said, let me raise my hand when they're asking for volunteers to answer, when I feel comfortable talking about something, because then when they're trying to randomly pick somebody out, I won't be that person because I'm always the one volunteering. So they're not going to call on me when I'm not ready.
That's pretty good.
So that was my strategy. And also, you have to feel comfortable talking about your craft. So let me put myself in front of my peers and feel comfortable. And then from there, once I became a lawyer, I always put myself out there. And if someone says, do you want to speak on this? Yes. Do you want to do this? Yes. I was in BNI speaking once a week in front of 40 people. Yes, I did all that stuff. And I just got comfortable speaking in front of live people. And I think if you get comfortable speaking in front of live people, the camera is not as scary.
Cameras, it depends the situation. I mean, I'm sure, a movie set or something like that is going to be like,
sure, right?
Crazy as hell.
You're raising the stakes in that
Yeah.
area, right? But I'm talking about like a video for content or whatever. Like you could always redo the take, so you don't have to be nervous, versus live, you're on the fly. So I got good at speaking on the fly, and something that not a lot of people know. I actually, when I was 18, did a beauty pageant that required me to speak Italian in a bathing suit on stage in front of hundreds of people. So wow. I always say to myself, if I could do that, I could do anything. So, and I said, I'll never do it again. I would never if I had a daughter, I wouldn't, that's not like something that I would ever redo, but it was a good opportunity for me to really put myself out there in a way that, that I say, like, if I could if I could do that, holy man, like I could do anything.
You know what you said that caught my attention is, speaking about video marketing, know your craft. So if I'm a new agent and I don't know my craft and I don't know what, really too much about real estate at this point, what do I say? Right. And I guarantee you everyone's thinking that right now, but
so
go ahead.
You could learn it. I was in law school, my first year of law school. I didn't know my craft that well, but you got to practice talking about your craft.
Mm-hmm. And what I would recommend too is whatever you're good at, or whatever type of piece of marketing that inside and out, that's what you should make a video on. That's what you should make a video on, because that's what right? So if you're starting with that piece of content, you're going to start seeing, all right, I can flow with this. I can understand it. Let me study something else. The reason why I post what I post every single morning, it makes me read at least a good 2-3 pages of articles to try to get the content and see I'm absorbing that content, whether I like it or not. And the concept for me is I want to read and I want to know more, and inspire myself. It's part of the reason why I push that content out. But I don't know much about some of that content. Some stuff I know inside and out. But see, I'm studying to understand that content that I'm pushing out. So that's kind of what you're saying. Especially with videos, it's difficult to do videos sometimes.
Yeah, but you know what? You don't have to start with a huge production, just
No.
getting a stand and a ring light and explaining something that maybe you just learned. You don't have to be an expert. You really just have to, but be able to articulate and educate others is how you know you've understood it. So by finding something or that you've learned, absorbing it, taking the time to understand it, and then regurgitating it in front of the camera, saying, guys, so this is actually what is a 4-point inspection. I know it's for this or that, but I really wanted to dig deeper and to explain it to you because a lot of my clients don't understand it, whether that's true or not. Then you go in and explain it, right? And you give a very general way of explaining it. Don't get technical. Don't use big words. You're trying to relate to people through these videos. So it's not for you to be a show off about, oh, I know all these things and all these big words. You're explaining it to a lay person, right? So we're in the industry. We're doing videos for those not in the industry, right? To understand what it is, right? More than likely, unless you're trying to market to, out-of-state agents, or then there's a different angle. But if you're trying to market to a buyer or a seller, don't get over technical. Keep it simple. Explain the practical nature of why things are being done a certain way.
I like that.
Keep it simple. And then you see,
Yeah.
by keeping it simple, you won't get worked up about how get nervous about it because it's simple.
What I would suggest in that 4-point inspection is talk about possibly pros and cons, like we were talking about on another episode. I guess you were purchasing that house and there was a stain on the ceiling and the roof is brand spanking new. So I'd speak about that. That's raw content that people are concerned about. They don't want to know the technical aspect of what a 4-point is. They can Google that. Talk about why they're asking these questions and what the questions are related in terms of the financing, like 4-burner stove needs to be there, for HUD, or, pool needs to be enclosed, making sure that things are functional. That's strong content. That's content that I would push out.
That's a very good tip. Very, very good tip. So the goal of video marketing, pictures, whatever, any type of marketing is to make yourself approachable, right? Make yourself relatable and easy for someone to reach out, ask you a question, easy for you to contact, easy for you to find, right? So approachable is super important. You have to be careful not to, as a lawyer, I really had to make myself super approachable because most people don't like to reach out to lawyers, right?
Yeah.
So,
and you can't technically reach out to them, right?
I can't.
For legal advice.
If I'm doing it under my law firm, I cannot solicit clients.
Yeah.
So that changes the dynamics too. But at the end of the day, that direct to client marketing was never really a strong thing in the title world. So it wasn't a challenge for me because I'm really just marketing to referral sources. But understanding your business and understanding where your business comes from and who you should be marketing to. For example, if you have a niche in divorced clients or probate clients, you're not necessarily good at, you can do a direct post about how you helped a divorced family, but really what you should be doing is target marketing divorce attorneys, to other people who specialize in helping divorced families through whatever transitions they're dealing with, right? So whether it's a therapist that help with divorce, lawyers that help with divorce, moving companies perhaps that are moving one spouse out versus another, just getting yourself out there. Here's what I specialize in. I know services like yours are used in the process. I've added you to my referral network. If one of my clients is experiencing and has that need, here's my information. Let's work together and refer to their clients. And that's a different type of marketing. And that's very strong.
Yeah.
Very strong. So I'm reading right now a really amazing book that is actually could be for any business, but funny enough, it is the person that is in the story. The character is a realtor. They have other characters too. It's called
What book is that?
the 7 levels of communication.
Yeah,
Funny
we talked about
enough, a lot of good agents that I work with that have a good amount of volume, they're like, I built my business on this after I shared it on social. So it's basically using relationships to get referrals. So referral marketing and networking amongst not direct clients, but referral sources is a critical point for you guys, for all of us in marketing our businesses. So yes, direct to consumer, but don't forget about your referral sources, because those leads are the best leads. They're warm and fuzzy for you already, right? But they don't they come naturally, but if you intentionally spend some time on it, you're going to take it so much farther and really, really, really do good for your business. And you're going to be helping people. This book says, if you want to get 50 referrals a year, you need to be giving 100 referrals a year.
Really?
That's one of the numbers from the book, which is so important. So I built my business in connecting people from a very early stage, unintentionally. And then intentionally, when I realized, oh, this is actually a strategy people use, I was just doing it to help people. Let me focus.
I got a guy for that.
Yeah, that's my line. I got a guy. And even if I don't, I'll find a guy, right? Because I know other people who have guys, right, or have girls that they other people who have a similar business model. So if I don't have one, I can call those other people who have a similar model. And say, hey, do you have someone like this?
So you're playing a resource. You're acting as a resource. People, that's the best type of selling right there.
Be the resource, but don't just be the resource as a default when someone asks you. The key is being the resource proactively. How can I help you? What can I do to help you?
I was just training a group of individuals at KW, and I said, guys, when you're calling on leads, don't start pitching them. Act as a resource. Give them something of value, and then they're going to give obviously a reciprocation back. But it's you playing the resource game. What can I do to offer you something? You know, who do I know? I know plenty of top listing agents that I can take this lead to and send it to XYZ. Why are you going to do that, Anthony? Well, obviously think about me when you cross that bridge in financing. So it's a good game. It's a good game.
But to include it in your marketing strategy, you have to be intentional about it, right? So I'm not really learning anything new in this book, but it's a good time for me to go back to basics as to what always worked, what is mostly free, and you could just help other people, whether it's the person you're helping both people, right? Yeah. Yesterday, I had a realtor friend of mine. She's like, I need a cleaning lady. She's posting about it on social media. I just hired a cleaning team 2 months ago. Amazing, referred to me by somebody else. And now I was able to give this business a client and help my friend find someone that's trusted, that actually cleans properly, and yada, 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 right?
Nice.
So I just made 2 people super happy. And so that's, and they'll think of me next time around, right? When the time comes. So
we hope.
We hope. Right. But at the end of the day, right, that's why you do 100 to get fit. Like, you don't do it to get, but you do, right? So, but if you're doing it intentionally, there's a system, there's a system to this madness. And sometimes going back to basics, that's why I'm bringing it up today, this book, because for me, it's really going back to basics, is focusing on the referral network of people that have supported my business. And sometimes looking and say, I haven't spoken to these people in so long. It's been a while. Let me reach out and check in and kind of bring fuel back to that relationship, right? So it's a super important thing. So before you guys really start spending a lot of money on paid marketing strategies, make sure you're actively pursuing the free tools you have.
I don't think anyone should be in this group right now or listening or watching on Instagram or Facebook paying for anything. I mean, this device right here, you should have at least 100, 200, 2000. I've got 15,000 contacts because I started storing data since 1996, knowing in my mind that, look, I know we're going to be able to extract this data eventually. And I called buyers and real estate agents, and that's how I started my CRM. But that's marketing right there, you know?
Speaking of contact information,
Mhm.
I want you guys all to think about all the people you know on social media that you don't have their contact information for. Think about that for a second.
All the people they know on social media that they don't have what? Email, phone number,
phone number, whatever. It happens to me too. If you think about it, how many people like, oh, I want to message this. Oh no, I got to go in the DM on Instagram because I don't even have their contact. So when you're thinking about your followers, yes, it's important, but you do not own your account on that platform. It is not yours. It can be hacked. It can be taken away. That site can shut down, likely, unlikely, but it can happen. So the idea is you want to extract your virtual relationships from your marketing social media platforms and bring them into real life.
Mm-hmm.
So how are you going to do that? How do you do that, Anthony?
There's applications that we use. We can send them after. I think that's awesome. And I'll put a note on it. But how I do it is, honest to God, this is kind of OCD. Every single phone call that I receive from a client, I store their information. I've made it a habit to just breathe. And there's some days that I'm like walking my dog, or I'm just, I'm out enjoying the sun. I'm like, dude, I do not want to store this person's information. And I store it, and I literally store that information. So I know that I have that information to solicit and market. The other thing is there's tools and resources now that are extracting information. Virtual assistants are doing this. You can take all of the content from every single person on Instagram and Facebook and import that data into your CRM. So we're doing that. We have right now roughly about 32,000 contacts in our CRM that we've extracted that information out. So the reason is it's marketing will become a data game. Eventually, I would say in the next 5-10 years, who has the most data is going to really win. And that's why these big companies like Amazon and Zillow are rocking it. It's a data game. They're absorbing that data. The easiest way for you guys, honest to God, is one step at a time. Any client you speak to, you should be getting that information. And if you're saying, I don't want to enter the data, this is a pain in the ass, dude, you got to think long-term. That client is probably going to have 5 or 6, 7 other clients long-term, and that you can, your marketing material can hit them up and say, happy birthday, happy National Ice Cream Day, whatever the case is. We just did that, right?
Yeah. So listen, guys, yes, of course, people who are already reaching out to you, save them, but you need to take the time to also extract the information from your DMs. If you're having a relationship, how can you turn this person into a referral source, someone part of your sphere? You know what the best way I've done this, I've experienced it, is to invite them to something.
What, and have them subscribe?
No, invite them to something in real life. Never mind subscribing. Yes, of course, that's ideal. But inviting someone to an event, to a lunch, for coffee, to I like to invite to.
I got 3 tickets tonight. Whoever wants.
Yes,
to
so do
Women's
I.
Council.
We have
who
women.
Needs them?
If you want to come listing luxury, we have an event tonight. So
hit us up right now, you ladies. You guys and ladies, hit us up right now. We have 3 tickets, 6 tickets.
So, but the point of what I'm saying is extracting people from the virtual world to in person. A great way is if you're already going to an event that someone would like to join, would be into because of whatever you connected with them on, invite them to join you. Hey, I'm going to this event. I thought you would be interested. Here's the information. Let me know if you can make it. Whether they come or not doesn't matter, but you're starting to build a rapport. So think about that.
This isn't really off topic, but it's still marketing. The open house that we're sponsoring, the funnel that we're creating for the open house will be able to give back to the potential borrower buying that listing, obviously, which is an appraisal validation up to $500. So the data that we absorb, which is the person making that connection in our platform, is a buyer leads. That's a source of marketing. Now we can market out to those individuals, whether they buy the house or not. So it's similar to what Zillow does, but that's a good thing. An event having a call to action and extracting information that way. We did that at last year's.
Yeah, but event. It doesn't even have to be your event. That's what I want to tell you. Like, yes, Anthony and I throw on events. I mean, everyone's getting back to in-person events, but it could be a Zoom conference. It could be some, a networking event that's virtual, in person. Think about what you see. If it's something that interests you or that you're attending, say, hey, I'm going here. Would you like to join me? Or if it's a friend, my friend is throwing this, I'd love to share it with you. I think you'll be interested. Let me know if you can make it. Even if you don't, like, the idea is you want to go and meet the person, but creating value, right? And a way to share. These things are free. Let's not overcomplicate things. Building relationships is the key to growing your business. And having that person see you, hear you on social media is great, but then what are you going to do about it? What's the next step?
What are you going to do with all that data?
What are you going to do with that person's attention? You have their attention in some form or fashion because they followed you. They're engaging somewhat in DMs or comments or likes. So think about it. Thanks for, liking my post. Here's some information. Here's an event, or here's this, or I see you like this. Check out this recipe. I see you like to cook too. You're cooking chicken. I like this chicken recipe. Try it out.
I think, honest to God, a lot of people in general, not necessarily real estate agents or lenders, they're not asking for referrals or asking for the business. They're soliciting, and they keep soliciting, but there's no time to physically say, hey, is there anybody that that might be, in need of a house? There's nothing wrong with asking. There's an appropriate time to ask, and that's a call to action. But you should be asking. The highlight, just so everyone knows, is the approval and the contract. It's not the clear to close. It's the contract. The clear to close, they're mentally drained. And that's smooth process or not a smooth process. It's just taxing on individuals. For us, we're jaded in this business. We deal with every day. That approval, that's when you should be asking for referrals, and that marketing content should be going out too.
And reviews. So that takes us to, we have a few minutes left. I want to talk about reviews from previous clients, testimonials, or professionals that you work with. It's social proof that you're good at what you do. So find a way to do that. Now, we helped some agents with the ice cream truck event this weekend, right? A great opportunity at that event is to actually have the testimonial done at that moment to be entered into a drawing of some sort. I think that's a great tool for these client appreciation events. If they haven't already given you a review, it could be done with a photo. It could be done with a video. It could be done, just write it out here on paper, and then we'll place it. Here's the Google link, right? So there's so many different ways you can do it. Whatever way you do it, find a way to, if they're coming to your appreciation event, that means they appreciate you too. Right? So you could use it as an opportunity to build your reviews, because reviews are where it's at, people.
Reviews are everything. It's validation.
We like to post pictures and things of our own, but how about the clients posting the picture? The clients posting the picture on their page, because now everybody knows you're their realtor. They're going to tag you, right?
It's a good idea. That's a good idea.
That's why I love it. I love when agents post and tag us, right? We do it too when we tag them and give the agents credit for leading the show, of course. But even better, whether we're in the picture or not, tag us, because that is our social proof, right? And then your network gets to see. So I love that. Of course, I appreciate that when it's done. But think about it for you too. For you, you want the client to post a picture, because the client's going to tag you. And then who's going to see that tag? Who's going to see that post?
Their friends.
Who's going to see that happy buyer from that realtor, the happy seller from that realtor, is all their sphere. Then you tag, you post, you comment, and that's a whole other strategy of that referral network, right? Because
that's a whole nother show.
That's a whole other show. But reviews are crucial. However they're done, whether it's a shout out, whether it's a testimonial, whether it's a video or an email, you know, you could always repurpose and use it in different platforms. And it's definitely the social proof that people want to see nowadays.
Here's an idea. Given what's a holiday coming around? Is there any holidays? Am I losing my mind? We're in July.
Labor Day is the next formal holiday.
Here's
back to school is coming up. It's an opportunity to reach out.
That's a great opportunity. So those of the clients that have kids, maybe, you know, giving them a gift certificate to Office Depot, get some school supplies on me, do me a favor, take this piece of content, post it on your wall. Do me a favor and ask for business. We closed a deal on XYZ. I mean, that's a good idea. That's marked in right there.
Yep. So good. It's so good. I mean, it really is the way to spread the roots.
Omnipresent.
Because the social presence that we have, and like, you know, just think of it with this pandemic that we had. Think about if someone gets it, then I get it, then I can give it to somebody else, and think of how things spread. That's the negative stuff, right? But the positive stuff spreads that way too. So, you know, I introduce someone to Anthony. Now Anthony's helping them, and then they get somebody else. And like, you know, you see, it's a perfect example of how we've overlapped networks and grown our networks together. Find other people like that. Find agents around the country. Find other professionals locally that are interacting with people that will be your ideal client, and give them some attention.
Yeah, around the country too is great. We're starting to do that in Texas and Colorado, and not just because the leads, because, you know, the cross pollination of agents migrating to Florida and vice versa, and leads obviously as well. So that's key, man.
Good stuff. So I know we jumped around today in a little nuggets, but we wanted to give you some of our key back to basic things that we used. And definitely, if you haven't read The 7 Levels of Communication, the author, you could, I'm listening to it. It's an easy read, but I would suggest picking up the book as well. It's from Michael J. Mayer, and it's an excellent book for real estate agents. And maybe we'll do a show about it and go into it a little bit deeper. So let us know if you're into that. And other than that, guys, it's a free show. We hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please share and give us a testimonial. Share it with your colleagues. Share it with your colleagues in the industry that are looking to grow their business. And we have some great guests lined up for the rest of the year, some great content lined up for the rest of the year. So stay tuned for that. And we'll be streaming soon as well on all the platforms. So we hope to see you guys somewhere on all these different shows, streams, social media stuff, right? We love it.
Thanks, guys.
Have a great day.
All right, take care.